Right then, let's talk about De Ligt and Maguire. Despite the signing of De Ligt from Bayern Munich this summer, we have started the season with a familiar face in Harry Maguire. And everybody saw De Ligt as the answer. There seems to be some debate online about who is going to be our starting partnership and whether that would actually include Matthijs de Ligt or if it would actually include Harry Maguire. I think there's an obvious answer here, but we will work through it and get to the end and the conclusions and perhaps look at the reasons behind that. Now, Harry Maguire, I thought, had a real solid season last season. I thought he was very dependable, and in a time when all of our centre-halves just seemed to do everything that they could to get injured, the one thing that you can at least rely on Harry Maguire is that he's going to stay injury-free. But he was a little bit better than that. He wasn't quite as good as some people would have you believe, and there are still generally issues with his play, but he was reliable, at least in a defensive sense, and he was also fit and available, which is more than could have been said for the rest of the defence. He started alongside Lisandro Martinez this season ahead of De Ligt, and I actually don't know why so many people are questioning this. I think most players would like an adjustment period when they sign for a club. I think most players would like a settling in period. And players, for sure, who also haven't had the opportunities to be with the team on pre-season and to get to grips with everything else, need blooding in a little bit slower. And when you've had Harry Maguire as the only centre-half on pre-season that's not managed to get an injury, then it makes complete sense why Harry Maguire would be starting the season for United. Now, De Ligt obviously is the new shiny thing. He is a top-quality centre-half, reputation of having one of the highest potentials in world football. And even for his young age of 25, he's played at the top level for many, many years. There's a player with experience and pedigree. And comparing him to Maguire, we're looking at a player who's not yet Premier League proven, I think that'd be fair to say. But even in his small cameos so far in a United shirt, I've liked what I've seen. And you can see the flashes of the player who could potentially do great things for Manchester United. Now, I don't think he's quite up to the physical standard for a Premier League defender yet, for whatever reason that is. He's been given the time to work at that. And I think that's a very sensible move from Erik ten Hag. Now, over the last year, Harry Maguire has played. He's played a lot. And I think it'd be worth us looking at the stats for both Maguire and De Ligt to see what we're going to get from him. Now, in the last year, Harry Maguire's in the 93rd percentile for non-penalty goals. It's kind of irrelevant, but he's in there. And the 95th percentile for shots. Nearly a shot a game he gets. He's in 61st percentile for passes attempted, which is quite low with 60. And he's in the bottom 34th percentile for pass completion at 83%. He's in the 66th percentile for progressive passes with basically one a game. And then he's in the 82nd percentile for interceptions, 90th for blocks, 96th for aerials won, and 95th for touches in the attacking penalty area. Again, it's usually him getting on the end of corners and stuff like that. When we look at De Ligt, he's in the 97th for non-penalty goals, and 91st for shots. Again, kind of irrelevant, but it is what it is. But he's in the 80th for assists. He's in the 85th for passes attempted. He's in the 96th for passes completed. He's in the 89th for progressive passes with nearly 5.5 per game. And he's in the 81st for touches in the attacking penalty area. Now, he is in the 71st for aerials won, which is lower than Maguire. He's in the bottom 18th for tackles. He's in the bottom 24th for blocks. And he's in the 48th and 47th for interceptions and for clearances. Now, based on that, you would say we've just bought a ball-playing defender and we're going to be replacing a tackling defender with him. Now, one thing to remember is Lisandro Martinez, whilst he's also a progressor and a ball-playing defender, is one that likes to get his tackles in. But I think you also have to look at where those players played last season. Playing for Bayern Munich, despite the fact that it wasn't a great season for Bayern Munich, you're still going to have high 60% possession and not required to do a hell of a lot of tackling. It also heavily weighs on the passing side of things for De Ligt as well. I think a season playing at Manchester United his stats will change and they will be closer to Maguire's. There'll be more tackling for sure. The passing might go down a little bit because United are not going to be anywhere near as dominant on the ball as Bayern Munich will be or were. But I think the understanding is that you're going to be getting probably someone that's less efficient at defensive actions than Maguire and aerials than Maguire. I think it also suggests that you're going to get someone who's a considerable better ball player than Harry Maguire is, both statistically and on the eye as well. I think on the eye, Harry Maguire leaves a hell of a lot to be desired, even if sometimes his stats can be quite good. And I think the progression of the ball is where De Ligt's going to excel for United. He is known for being a commander on the ball. He played the ball often for Bayern Munich. He got on the ball often. His high pass completion actually becomes more impressive because of the amount of progressive passes he was playing. When you've seen Harry this season, he's almost been like an absolute desire to not pass it to his right to Mazraoui. He wants to pass it to Martinez all the time and allow Martinez to progress the ball. Now, when United have got two players in Martinez and De Ligt that want to be able to move the ball into midfield, suddenly United become less predictable. If I'm an opposition team, I'm going to press Harry Maguire with the intention of pressing it and knowing that he's going to send it to Martinez because he won't send it forward and he's not going to send it to Mazraoui. So he's very easy to read, and being unpredictable is the best thing you can be in football. So I think once you see De Ligt moving in, and I think the reason why you've not seen him is sort of what I touched on earlier. He's not been on pre-season with us, and Harry Maguire has been the only defender that's been on pre-season. It makes total sense for all of those. Otherwise, what was the point in us playing all of those friendlies on pre-season tour? Because none of our defenders played in them. So having players that have played in the pre-season, that understand what the manager's trying to do, understand some of the differences, and he is a senior player, is quite beneficial. I'm sure over the next 5-6 weeks, he is phased out of the starting 11, and De Ligt, providing he doesn't get injured, will end up taking over and starting alongside Lisandro Martinez. In terms of what that means for Maguire this season, I think it just becomes backup. And being a backup centre-half in this squad probably still means you play a lot, I think. With the injury records that both De Ligt and Martinez have had, I certainly don't think he won't play. I think he'll play 25-plus games. And I also think Euro will play a similar sort of number as well. But the pressure's off. The pressure's off players to get back fit because, oh my God, we don't have anyone. And that's where United have messed up in the past. I don't see a future where I see Maguire and De Ligt playing together very often, unless there's injuries. And I think Harry probably is our fourth choice centre-half, with Johnny Evans being fifth. And I think that's a good spot for the squad to be in, to be honest. And I think that's what United have needed. We've had a decent starting 11, but then the drop-off to the next best has been vast. And I think that's one of the things that they've been working on improving this summer, is adding a little bit of depth. Oh, okay, so, yeah, all right, we haven't got Howson playing. Okay, cool, we'll play Mason Mount, and then we've got Xerxes off the bench. It's not the mad drop-off to, Howson's injured. What's Ethan Wheatley doing? Like, that's madness. So I think we're in a better position than we were. And I don't think there's the panic in, oh my God, De Ligt isn't playing yet, what's going on? I think it's just good management from the gaffer in terms of slowly getting him into the squad, because that's needed. Anyway, please give me your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.